In the cryptocurrency market, every indication of a significant update pertaining to a project, a major development, or a huge fundamental statement is met with pessimism at this moment in time. For instance, the recently introduced XRP exchange-traded funds, ETFs, were the subject of widespread discussion due to the fact that the price did not fluctuate. As a result, they have not been successful. We are going to discuss those issues in a moment. They are this and they are that. I would like to go over a few things, and I would like to ensure that everyone fully comprehends what I am talking about, what is actually happening at this moment in time, and whether or not these ETFs have been unsuccessful. How about we begin right away by talking about what we received during the weekend? That was a significant update from Eric Balcones. Our here bullish XRP might be the next in line, and the SEC might expedite the process of approving crypto ETFs. According to analyst Eric Balcones, the SEC's most recent advice enables issuers to expedite filings that have been postponed due to the shutdown, with Bitwise's XRP ETF perhaps being the next in line. I believe that something quite fascinating is occurring with Bitwise at this particular moment, so I would like to return to this subject later in this video. That being said, this was posted on Coinborough, and I am convinced that this is precisely what is taking place. There has been an increase in the number of exchange-traded fund, ETF announcements that we are witnessing. This increase has been particularly notable after the closure came to an end. At this point, I would want to discuss the Canary ETF once more. I am aware that we have been discussing this matter for a considerable amount of time. Allow me a moment to quickly refresh this. I would like to go over this and provide all of you with a comprehensive UP date regarding you. Today, we reached the conclusion of the day with more than 843,000 shares traded. This amount is approximately the same as $19 million. On a day when things aren't going well, it's a little more than 19 million. This is quite encouraging. In terms of the overall trend for the XRP CETF in this area, it is safe to say that the demand is present. There is a noticeable amount of demand. The debut of the exchange-traded fund, ETF, has been an outstanding success, and I have made it a point to ensure that everybody is aware of this fact. That being said, the fact that the price of XRP has decreased has caused people to believe that it has failed. It is not safe to use cryptocurrency exchanges, is not affected by the magnitude of the exchange, even by a small amount. Back in the month of February, the fourth largest cryptocurrency exchange by trading volume became the victim of one of the worst cryptocurrency thefts in history, with $1.4 billion being stolen. And if we take a look at some of the most significant cryptocurrency hacks that have occurred throughout history, the most of them have been carried out by major exchanges. In that case, where should we keep our cryptocurrency while it is not stored in cold storage devices? Because they are fully closed-loop systems that have been developed to isolate and safeguard assets, Well I Trust Capital provides premium custodial accounts, making it one of the most secure locations for storing your cryptocurrency. The most advantageous aspect of this is the fact that if you have any digital assets stored on their platform, they are only able to be withdrawn in USD that is tied to a US bank account. This implies that there is no possibility of external wallet connections, which in turn minimizes the risk of phishing or unauthorized transfers. Therefore, if you would want to take advantage of one of the most secure places to store your cryptocurrency, you may register by using my link, which you can find in the description below. You can do this right now and you will remarked, if you believed that the launch of the Canary XRP exchange-traded fund was a success, you'll be even more impressed by the success of Franklin Templeton's launch. A straightforward social media post. At this point, I was faced with an overwhelming amount of negative feedback that expressed dissatisfaction with the fact that the price has not yet increased. This means that the success of this particular ETF was nothing more than a fabrication. The debut of the exchange-traded fund, ETF, did not go as planned. The cost of additional guests did not change by much. It actually decreased in a real sense of the word. Therefore, these ETFs do not signify anything. And the truth of the matter is that there were simply a great number of individuals who were extremely negative about the ETF. And I understand, I am aware of the fact that in this market, particularly during periods when the market is experiencing a significant decline, as it is at the moment, we are prone to becoming gloomy. For the most part, things have been really difficult. At this point in time, we had anticipated that the price action would be significantly higher. I understand the situation. However, it does not, if you understand what I mean, it does not contradict the concept that this exchange-traded fund ETF was successful. This exchange-traded fund was a great success, and I was careful to divide it into its constituent parts. I said, take a look at all of the people who are crying in the comments on this post. However, there is one thing to note. The XRP price has not yet recovered. It did not turn out to be successful. The cost has been reduced. The total inflows registered for the XRP-C ETF currently amount to more than $275 million and has generated more than $15 million only today. The amount exceeds 19 million dollars. At the moment, the market is absolutely terrible, and for about a month now, Bitcoin has been undergoing a period of liquidation. Despite the fact that the market has only been down for a short period of time, the XRP ETF was able to generate more than $58 million on its launch day and accumulate a total of more than $200 million in just 2 days. I would describe that as being extremely successful. If you are complaining about the price fluctuations, please do yourself a favor and check on the value of Bitcoin. That is the reason that the current price is so awful. I would not base this session on whether or not the underlying asset surged, since given that this entire space is correlated with Bitcoin's present price, it would not be a good idea. The whole amount of incoming funds would be the basis for my decision. The year 2025 saw the XRP cryptocurrency completely outshine the introduction of other exchange-traded funds. Read through this and get emotional as a result. And indeed, XRP was the most successful launch to have taken place up to this point in 2025. And I believe that a significant number of individuals are not taking that statistic into account. At this point in time, it is really simple to simply switch on bearish and declare, okay, I agree, the exchange-traded fund is not good. Specifically with regard to XRP, there was no impact on the price action as a result of it. That being said, the entire area has been closed off. For more than a month now, Bitcoin has been experiencing a sell-off. This market is terrible right now. Nonetheless, taking into consideration everything that has been mentioned and the unfavorable atmosphere that surrounds cryptocurrency, XRP was nevertheless able to achieve over $275 million in total inflows already within just 3 days. And in addition, it is important to note that the $275 million does not even take into account the over $20 million that has been amassed solely from today. Therefore, we are discussing a sum of money that has exceeded $290 million and is on an increasing number of exchange-traded fund approvals are coming through our pipeline. This is a really positive indicator of what we might expect in the future. Now, we need to take another look at this picture. Therefore, with no hesitation, it is clear that the very first one that we are examining this week that will be approved is Franklin Templeton. This is something that is occurring right now. The assets under management in the amount of $1.5 trillion can be found in Franklin Templeton. The cutoff date is the 18th. The time period in question runs from the 14th to the 18th of November. The cutoff will take place tomorrow. This exchange-traded fund is expected to receive approval sometime tomorrow. However, I am investigating Bitwise since Bitwise is the 19th, which means it is a Wednesday. When we examine this from a logical standpoint, Bitwise has an asset center management system worth $5 billion, which is far larger than Canary, which I brought up yesterday. This is something that Bitwise tweeted only a short while ago. What I have just found out is going to be totally unbelievable to you. We are completely in the dark about the meaning of this. Since this happened, they have not actually uploaded much of anything at all. This was their final post, and it was made approximately 5 hours ago. It is going to be significantly lengthier by the time that this really goes online. Nevertheless, my primary concern in this situation is to determine what these entities are like. To what are they making reference in this instance? Similar to the subject matter that is discussed in this passage, with the exception of the circumstance that there is indeed a final deadline of the 19th for Bitwise. We are aware of the fact that the Securities and Exchange Commission may expedite crypto exchange-traded funds, and XRP may be the next to do so. It is obvious that, with the exception of Franklin Templeton, of course, Bitwise would be the next in line, possibly. Will we be able to receive confirmations during the course of this week? Consider the possibility that this week could be quite chaotic if we receive confirmation that the Bitwise ETF has been approved, as well as the possibility that the Franklin Templeton one has been approved. In addition to that, we have 21 shares that we are going to get on Saturday the 20th. There is a possibility that there will be a large number of exchange-traded